Hello everyone, Amuleta here, and it's time for this week's Dev Diary blog update thingamajiggy. Um, gonna be going over a few different things today, although not necessarily with Mario Shmup. We'll start with the old reliable here. So I am starting to work on stage 3. Um, stage 2 is more or less done outside of bouncing when we get that far, and that's just gonna be like a lot of tweaking numbers, so that'll just kind of be an ongoing thing, just like stage 1. But let's go and just jump into stage 3. I've started to add water because it's going to be a water-themed stage. We've got sand down there. We've got, starting to incorporate some of the enemies from Mario Land. So we have little fish bones, cheeps, and little, what are those things called? Seahorses. That'll jump up and, like, shoot stuff at you. Still very much work in progress. I didn't realize, like, how weirdly outplaced the Mario Land enemies look compared to, like, the Super Mario World 3 ones. Like, this is all I've got for the stage, so we're gonna have to loop over it a few times. But, like, I don't know, they just look a little too angular for the fish. And then you've got the cheap here versus the seahorse. They're the same size, but the seahorse just looks tiny, so I might play around with them a little bit. But that's what I get for trying to use, like Game Boy graphics alongside NES graphics, I suppose. A bit of a learning experience. But we are starting to get them going. The cheap's going to jump back and forth, jump out of the water. At least this one will. I'll have other ones later that'll just kind of swim back and forth. The fish dude, the little fish bones will jump out of the water and try to bite you. The seahorse will jump up and shoot a fireball at you, just like he does in the Game Boy games. One thing I did fix is there was a small bug where sometimes enemies would disappear when they're touching the edge of the screen, like before they go off the screen. The cheap was getting it bad, and while playing around trying to get him to work, I did find out what was going on, so they should actually, like, that should stop happening across the board now. That's something cool. Probably not gonna upload this, because this is, you're looking at, I've had to repeat it like 7 times already, and it's not much. Still sketching out, like, the rest of the stage. I'm not 100% happy with the way the cheap moves yet, so I'll kind of still play around with him. But, getting there. But part of the reason I don't have more to show is because I have a few other things that I've been working on this last week. I recently had some vacation time from work for my real life job, and so I started working on a few things, a few side projects. I mentioned a few weeks ago that I was getting a little tired of doing the Super Mario Shmup. It was never meant to be a full game. I'm still sort of enjoying it, but I am getting a little bit burned out on it. I do want to keep going on it, but I also kind of feel the itch to go work on, like, a new project. I'm trying not to completely abandon it. So I do have a couple of side projects I've started on. The first one here is I'm trying to use Game Maker to recreate a board game that I really enjoy. I am trying to be very vague about it because the company that makes the game has made it very clear they do not want a digital version of it. I kind of blame them. They keep adding, like, updates to it, so, that would be a headache and a half to maintain. So I'm trying to do, like, my own personal digital version of it. It will not be released publicly. I do apologize. But I'm not about to get sued, and this is very much it's something I really want to work on because it's a game that I enjoy, but the setup takes a bit, and it's just not as fun when I'm just by myself, so I'm hoping, like, making a digital version might help me zhuzh it up a little bit. It also gives me a bit of practice making menus, so that'll be something that I can look forward to. And one thing I might do, depending on how it turns out, this will be very much a down-the-road type of thing, is take the basic core mechanic of it is you have a hand of cards, you play a card, you roll a series of dice to determine how successful your card action is. That mechanic by itself, without elaborating any deeper into, like, what the mechanics are for the rest of the game, could be expanded out to, say, some kind of, like, dungeon crawler type of thing, or like, I could totally, like, the basic actions that the game comes with are stuff like walk, or weak attack, or search for an item, or stuff like that. Like, you could totally expand it into, oh, here's a bunch of different spells, here's different, weapons to attack with, here's, you could do, like, a dungeon crawlery type thing with it, you can do, I'm gonna like play around and see if like there's something I can do, like put my own spin on it and make it my own idea. Will I get that far? Don't really know, but it's something I'm going to kind of play around with in the background. It's going to be way down the road though before I can really talk about it publicly because again, I'm not looking to step on any toes. This is just right now what I've got is a board game that I enjoy playing. I've even like changed a few of the names in the screenshot here to just kind of try to obscure it as much as possible as to what I'm working with. I seriously doubt they're going to see this or like get mad at me for this much, but why take risks? And if they do say something, I will happily take it down because I'm not looking to get in trouble. Um, but that's probably me being more paranoid than anything. But the other thing that I'm working on, this one I can go ahead and show off, and this is all me, is over the last few weeks, I was introduced to the idea of a mini-vania. Um, if you're a gamer, you are familiar with the idea of a Metroidvania, which is a game like Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You're given a space, you run around in it, you can find power-ups that give you new abilities, that let you exit new areas, double jumps, and transform into smaller forms, and all that good stuff. Um, and someone had introduced me to the idea of a mini-vania. Graildon, he has a YouTube series where he's playing through everything on Steam in alphabetical order. He played a game called 100 Pumpkins. And the idea of a mini-vania, where it's just a super, like a small one, like it meant to be beaten in an hour or something like that. That sounds like a great way to practice doing like a kind of a platformer type of thing, because I do want to do some like run and gun, Metroidvania type stuff, but I'm not really sure where to start with that. So, here is a sprite for Blue Owl, and what I'm going to start working on in the background is a Minivania, where Blue Owl will run around a space, probably about 100 screens, because that just seems like a good size. Gonna give them a few power-ups that they can pick up. Nothing crazy, but probably like a double jump and their bow and arrow, so they can like shoot switches on the other side gaps or something. Maybe like bombs for like blowing up cracked walls or something. Again, super basic stuff. And just give them like a small area to explore and probably go defeat some big evil guy at the end. A big bad evil guy, BBEG. Sorry. And so I've got like a little simple running animation for Blue Owl. If you look at the original 100 Pumpkins on Steam, it is a ultra simple, like Atari style graphics. So again, like I'm doing my own custom graphics somewhat, but you kind of see I don't feel like I'm great at them yet, so this is giving me a chance to kind of practice like ultra basic graphics and kind of work towards making something better. So that's something else I'm going to be working on in the background. Neither of these side projects I'll be able to really talk about too much for the time being. Again, the board game one, I just not looking to step on my toes until I can make it my own. And as far as like Blue Owl Minivania, this is kind of all I have right now. This one should be able to, I should be able to get fairly quickly. Um, but my focus needs to be on the Super Mario Shmup. So I kind of fell off the horse a little bit this week, but that's because I was getting these set up and just life stuff. Um, so I'm hoping to have like a little bit more information about these in the next few weeks, at least the Minivania. And then outside that, I also have one other thing for my YouTube channel. That I'm hoping to start trying to do some other stuff with that, maybe some other video type stuff. I want to make a series of shorts. And I'll have to see if I can get them up and running. I need to stop saying so much. Sorry. But it's a series of shorts that I kind of want to do for a while. It's going to be me sharing, kind of daily, in like positive psychology, there's this idea like the daily gratitude or the gratitude journal where like at the end of each day, you're supposed to write down 2 or 3 things that you were happy for or that went good that day or something like that. And I kind of want to try doing something like that as shorts on YouTube. I'm sure someone's done it already, but I'll throw my hats in there. I want to do my little gremlin gratitudes. Um, I also want to mix it with a holiday a day calendar because that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Was do some kind of series of videos of a holiday a day. Just kind of celebrating all. Because if you look into it, as far as I know, basically every day of the calendar has some kind of weird little holiday attached to it. A lot of them are like Natural Hot Dog Day or Natural Talk Like a Pirate Day or something like that. But they're still fun, and we need more fun. We need more whimsy. So I'm gonna look into doing something with that. I'm not putting a hard time on those. I'm hoping to be sooner rather than later. But last time I promised something, it took me an extra week to get the silly thing done. My little frog village, because complications. So I'm hoping to do that soon, but I'm not making any promises right now, because life. Anyways, that's everything for right now. Yeah, like I said, not a whole lot. It's more of a working on a lot of small things. I'm gonna try not to get too overwhelmed or burned out or anything. But it is just kind of. Oh yeah, I actually forgot. I almost forgot. I should actually make. Yeah, there you go. Blue Owl like running along. Again, super simple, super basic, but that's kind of the point of it. Um, but yeah, I'm going to just kind of keep working on those in the background. I will still keep Mario Shmup as my main focus. Like the amount of work I've done on the Mario Shmup for this week has, maybe slightly less than normal, but I was doing some of the other stuff too. So I'll try to have more work for that going forward. I'll just kind of work on these in the background, and when I have something I can show off, I will. But I'm just rambling and repeating myself now, so I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And as always, feedback on any of these ideas, any of these projects is very welcome and appreciated. If anyone's has any holidays that they want me to talk about when I start doing that, let me know. Or any kind of ideas for like what you want me to be grateful, like express gratitude for. Because I'm gonna be picking like random words at times too. The thing that like popped in my head is like, be grateful for umbrellas, because when was the last time you were actually grateful for your umbrella to keep you dry in a April shower? It doesn't have to be complicated. That's kind of what I want to do too. Is kind of find the joy and the beauty in common mundane things alongside the big achievements. So it's an idea. We'll see how it goes. Um, Sorry, my thoughts are all kind of scared, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. So I hope you have a great week. Feedback is welcome and appreciated, and I love you all. And you should take care. Bye.